I'm on. Boy, am I on. My name is Franny Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. Now, if you've been watching my videos on the YouTubing, I can tell you that I have been telling you about how to spell fracking, what fracking is, how that's different from oil and gas. No, it's not oil and gas, it's just oil fracking. It's different. They've been fracking, now they're not. Okay, let me get to it. Last time I told you that they just shoved that big old recipe right down there, and it's a secret recipe. It's like Mrs. Fields cookies. You got to pay for it, buddy, if you want it. If you ain't paying, you ain't finding out. And I got some things to tell you about that later too. But right now I'm going to tell you what happens to that dirty water. Now, if you've been watching what I've been talking about, they have to separate all the good stuff. That's what they call it. It's the good stuff. And what that means is it's the stuff they're going to sell, and I'm going to tell you about that later too. Right now we're going to the dirty water. Oh, I love that dirty water. Oh, Boston, you're my home. Remember that song? It's got nothing to do with this. All right. Now, that dirty water is called processed water. And what they do is, what they used to do is they used to put it in some big old open pits. They'd make a big old pit, and they'd just take that water out and they'd just dump it right in the pit. That didn't work out real well. What they thought was that all that crappy stuff was just going to evaporate into the air. Well, it did that, because there's benzene and wenzene and singsween and all kinds of weens of chemicals in that water, and that just went right into the air. Maybe not a good idea. But what happened was sometimes it rained, and sometimes that rain would fill that pit up and it would overflow. Uh-oh. Where'd that go? Where did that go? All right, so then there were people looking at them pits and going, you know, that doesn't look real good. My cow took a drink of that water, and oh man. So we have to say that we have to be real careful about this. And so people were getting kind of upset that it was spilling, and cows were drinking it, and birds were falling in it, and it was a real mess. And so what happens when something is looking real bad? Well, you have it someplace where you can't see it, right? Out of sight, out of mind. These people are so smart, I'm telling you. So, all right, well, let's get it out of the pit. Now what are we going to do? We have to get it away from the well, because it ain't going to be in the pit. There are some places they've left it in the pit because there ain't nobody around to care whether there's a pit or there ain't a pit. But now we're looking at whether that water has to go somewhere, so they bring it back up, they separate it, and then these trucks, they put it into trucks and they drive it off. Well, where's it go? Well, you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, it's not a problem. Well, one of the things they decided they're going to do is they're going to shove it down wells that they ain't using anymore. Okay? Empty wells. What the heck is an empty well? What good is that? Put that dirty water down there and plug it up. Then what happens? I keep telling you, you don't need to worry about that. All right? Now, unfortunately, there are some people who were not doing such a good job at being drillers, because what they did was they drive it off. Now, this has happened over in Weld County. I've had some friends that have checked this out. They drive it off, and then them drivers just turn these little spigots on in the back of the truck. And then they just drive. Dripping, dripping, dripping. Now, there's regulations that say you can't do that. Now, sometimes, this hasn't happened here in Colorado recently, but it's happened. I mean, talk to the people in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they'll tell you them suckers was dumping it in the river. Those people in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this is their drinking water. Oops. Now, you have to get caught. You have to get caught to get fined, right? Now, we're not saying that any drillers here in Colorado have done that we know of. But there are people who, they keep it in pits, they keep it in trucks, they keep it down in old wells, and sometimes they keep it in rivers. But you don't need to worry about it. All right? I think we're up with our 3 minutes. Next time we come back, we've been talking about how to spell fracking, what fracking is. And now, fracking, let me tell you real quick, is just a part of the whole process. But what's happened is when things get out in the popular culture, things happen. And now it's just like a new word in the dictionary. Fracking means the whole oil and gas development. all right? Even though the people that work in the industry, it's going to make them mad if you say fracking and you mean the whole process, because it's just a little part of the process. But that's the way it goes when things get out into the public and people start playing with it, and that's the way it is. So next time we are going to talk about, let me see, I got some notes here. I was just showing good. Fracking this everything. I got about 10 top 10 questions, and I've gotten through about 1.5 of them because I do go on. So I will see you soon. This is Francis Fracker saying thank you very much. Bye. Oh, go. Hi. Hi. My name is Francis Fracker, and I'm here to tell you all about it. I'm telling you all about fracking. That's hydraulic, horizontal, slick water, fracture drilling. And you're probably asking, why do I care about that? I have been trying to watch who's going to win with Dancing with the Stars. Well, I had some friends ask me about it, and then I started to study it and research it on the Wikipedia because I want to find out what it was, and it turns out, it's kind of important. And gosh, there's a lot of stuff out there, so what I'm trying to do is make it real easy for you to understand what this is. It's basically the new energy economy. Do you know what that is? I'll get into that in a little while, but let me tell you, if you're ready for some science fiction stories, I got one for you here. Okay. Timing, my chicken works. She's off time, but isn't she cute? Now, get a hold of me at the YouTubing and tell me what you think we ought to name this little clucker. Isn't she cute? She's gonna give me 3 minutes. I have friends over there that give me more than that. But anyway, so now we know how to spell fracking, what it is, how it happens, why it happens. I haven't gotten into that yet, and boy, that's going to take me some pages, let me tell you. But right now we know that they shove all this stuff down into these wells that are like, in Colorado, they're about 7,000 feet down. Okay, and they put that sand down there. It's called silica sand, and you gotta be real careful of, boys, if you're out there working with that. Let me tell you, when they tell you put that mask on, put that mask on. That stuff is horrible, and it gets in the air. So if you live near a well and they're putting it in, stay in the house and put on your oxygen mask. The sand keeps that fracture open so they can get that oil and gas out of there. All right, the chemicals serve a variety of problems. That's called a Freudian slip. Purpose. The water is based to use and carry it in and out. 5 million gallons per frac. There's 30,000 wells pumping over in Weld County right now, and theirs all get fracked anywhere between, I don't know, maybe 5 times. You do the math. Please, I'm asking you, do the math. I can't count worth anything. Now, it says here, and this is starred and in bold, so I must have meant it to be really important. Domestic sales of natural gas are expected to increase exponentially. Now, if you do math, you can do it if it's exponentially. I just know that means it's going to get bigger and bigger and faster over the next 20 years, as that new energy economy ensures that natural gas will be the dominant energy available for customers to purchase for use in their homes and vehicles. Now, what that means is, my friend's saying, hi, oh no, she's telling me I'm out of time. Let me tell you this real quick now. Governor Hickenlooper is a governor here in Colorado. He's one of 13 state governors that went to Detroit in July 2012, and they were there as part of an effort to push the use of vehicles powered by natural gas. They met with the top executives of the 3 U.S. automakers, and they signed a memorandum promising to invest in natural gas vehicles because they want to, quote, create new demand for domestically produced natural gas, as well as make such vehicles more affordable for the average buyer. What does that all mean to you? That means that you're not going to have a car to drive unless you drive it with natural gas. And if you're going to get the natural gas, you have to go and drill it. And if you're going to drill it, you're going to be a fracking it. And if you're a fracking it, we're right back down to, my name is Francis Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. Bye.